every community event. So I'm now a golf fan.
Gotcha.
I'm just not a golfer.
Let me tell you though, a 4-putt on this course is not bad, so don't worry.
There you go.
When you look at as a company how you guys make decisions in terms of resources and things, obviously you stayed committed to this event since you got involved, and there were some years in there where it probably would have been easier to maybe diminish that commitment. Principal stayed with it. Tell us a little bit why and what goes into that decision-making process.
You know, part of our decision is around community. So we really want to be a great citizen, and it helps us recruit people. It helps us protect our investment here in Central Iowa. So, you know, there's the old expression that you can do well by doing good, and that's something that we believe in at the Principal. We also have a lot of business guests come in. So instead of having a 45-minute meeting with your business partner, with your advisor, with the customer, we have an 8-hour business meeting. So it's really good from both sides of that. But the one thing that we said is it's no one company. One company can't do this. So as long as the community wants to do it and is behind it, we're behind it. If the community decides that, you know, it's something that maybe we should do something else, then we'll re-examine. But the community has been terrific. You know, record number of sponsors. We've had great donations this morning. When little Ty was getting on his bike, a guy who was playing in the Pro-Am stopped to talk to him and then said, I want to buy him a bike.
Wow.
And I said, well, those are $1,500 to $3,000 bikes. And he said, whatever the young man wants. And
That's awesome.
He's in from out of town. So $21 million in economic benefit for this tournament.
Wow.
So if you think about great golf, great world-class athletes, family event, being outside on days like this, and then seeing a kid who can ride a bike for the first time in his life,
Doesn't get any better.
It's all good. It's all good.
Well, we appreciate you taking time to come on with us.
Absolutely.
We appreciate everything that Principal and this event means to our community, so thank you very much.
Great. Thank you, guys.
We'll be back with more Extra Points right after this.
People like to see a return on their investment. Is it time for you to make an investment in your health? The YMCA has great locations, facilities, equipment, and a staff dedicated and trained to help you succeed. And it's affordable to all. The Y offers boot camp classes, a pool, wellness coaches, complimentary child watch, and so much more. If you and your family are serious about living an active, healthier lifestyle, why wait? Join the Y today and let tomorrow be the start of a healthier you.
Welcome back to Extra Points. We're here at the Principal Charity Classic, and we're joined by Fuzzy Zeller. Fuzzy, thank you for taking the time to come on with us. Talk to us a little bit about the game last night, the Pacers and the Heat, because I know that's probably what was on your brain.
Well, no, we did watch it last night, and I thought it was one of the worst officiated ball games I've seen. I really feel the officials need to just stay out of it and just remember they're not the show and let the players decide what happens.
I've been saying that for about 30 years now, and it just doesn't seem to happen.
Well, I know, but I mean, you know, they think they're the show there, and people are paying to come watch them watch, and that's not the way it is.
We should make it more like golf, maybe.
Do you agree?
In the background, yeah.
Well, I mean, the one great thing about golf, I mean, it's you and this little goofy white golf ball that I've got stuffed in my pocket here.
I'm glad that's a ball in your pocket.
Nobody, well, I was too. You know, nobody controls it but me. I can't blame it on anybody else.
Fuzzy, you've been around the game a little while. You've had success at the highest levels. You still have a passion for it, but you got some other stuff going on too. Obviously, you do a lot of charity work. You've got Fuzzy's Vodka now, which I happen to be a fan of. How do you find time for it all?
Well, I don't know. You just kind of divvy it up. You know, I did take partial retirement in December, so I would have time for the vodka company a little bit more, concentrate a little more on that, because that has potential of being very huge. And then we have the IndyCar, which takes a lot of weekends up, helping Ed Carpenter.
We're rooting for Eddie now.
Yeah, Eddie played. Trust me, we had a great run last week at Indy. We had one little minor mishap there in the pits that cost us like a split second, and in that league, a split second can mean 8 cars. It's crazy how just a little split second and you're back from first to like 8th.
Yep. Amen.
Fuzzy, I was walking by the practice screen there, and I was watching people putt. And
Good. Maybe you can tell me where that's at. 'Cause I haven't seen it yet.
Well, the thing that got me is that nobody uses the long putters. It looks like, I know Longer does, but they're going to change that on the regular
How
tour.
did I feel about that?
Yeah.
You know, I always thought the USGA and the R&A were a bit stupid. If they would listen to the best players in the world, we'd never have long putters or belly putters. You know, we told them the same thing about square grooves. When they first came out, if they would listen to the players who play this game for a living, we wouldn't have had square grooves. So we would have had no problems. But they don't. You know, they're a bunch of, in my eyes, a bunch of amateurs, a bunch of rookies that are trying to run major companies. And just listen to the best players. We will tell you what's right and what should be out here, what shouldn't be out here.
Speaking of companies and getting back to Fuzzy's Vodka, I'm sure you have lots of opportunities. How did you make the decision of to go with the folks you went with and wine at that point?
Oh, we're talking about the vodka now,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Well, I had the wine people after me to do a specialty private label wine. Hell, they even came to my farm in Indiana.
Yep.
We were going to do an estate wine, and I'm thinking, whoa, boys. I said, now, this is all good, but you got to have somebody who likes wine. I don't drink wine. I'm not a wine drinker.
Yep.
So I'm sitting in
And
my
you're not
office.
gonna fake it for me.
No. I mean, I can't tell you a good wine from bad wine. They all taste the same to me. But that's the way it is. Sitting in my office 7 years ago on a Saturday morning, one of my buddies walked by. He goes, well, why wouldn't you do a vodka? God knows you drink enough of it. And I looked at him and I said, you know, that's got some merit to it. Let's talk about this. So that's how it all started. And we called around the country, and there were 6 distillers that would do a specialty private label high-end vodka.
Yep.
When they sent me product in the following Saturday. Now, folks, I don't want you to think I have a drinking problem, but I was drinking vodka at 9 in the morning, tasting these, and I tasted this one out of Bend, Oregon. And I don't know, my God, it had a great taste to it, and I went, phew. I walked across the street to Covered Bridge, which of course I own for my office there, and I had 6 girls working. And I explained to them we're going to do a little vodka taste test. So I grabbed the 7 different vodkas we had behind the counter, and I laid this one in, and I said, now, women's
And this
taste...
is 9 in the morning.
That's 9 o'clock in the morning, yeah, it was before anybody...
I want to work for you.
Oh, well, I understand. So I told him, I said, you know, women's taste buds are entirely different than men's. But I need an honest opinion from you. If you were out drinking vodka in the evening, most of them are vodka drinkers,
Yep.
which one of these vodkas would you prefer? And all 6 of the girls came to this one that I had kind of set in there, not knowing what I was doing, because they had no clue. And then I went back the next day, and I had 8 of my alcoholic buddies who were playing golf, and I brought them in. We did the same test. 7 out of 8 picked it. That's when I knew I had something. And so we worked out a deal with Bend, Oregon. We went out and fine-tuned the vodka just a little bit more. And it took us about 1.5 years, almost 2 years to do the bottle. You know, because I wanted to be different than the other guy. I wanted to shoot at a specific market, which was the golf course market. So I wanted a golf course theme on the bottle.
Yep. And it is distinctive.
Yeah.
Last question for you. Basketball, obviously, in Southern Indiana is part of the culture.
Mm-hmm.
You've watched a lot of basketball. What stands out at you? I obviously am a basketball guy, not that you know from looking at me these days, but what stands out? Some great teams, some great Indiana teams, some great Pacer teams.
Well, I think it's the talent of the kids. I mean, there's a lot of talented kids that don't stay in the state of Indiana and
Yep.
play for the University of Indiana or Purdue or Notre Dame or Butler.
Right.
They'll run to North Carolina or Duke, which is kind of crazy. I think Tom Crean's done a marvelous job at Indiana bringing that program back from zero,
Yep.
what it was,
Very
to
quickly.
making it very positive. The young man up at Notre Dame's always got a great program. Purdue's was down this year, but they got a lot of young talent.
Yep.
Young talent. And of course, Butler's always Butler. Butler's that sleeper. You know, the guy that never gets any rewards for what he does, but he always has a great competitive little team.
We appreciate your time today. Thanks for coming on.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Hit them well. We'll be back with more Extra Points right after this.
Overwhelmed? Frustrated? Not sure what to do with your garage? Let the professional design team at Minnesota Cabinets be your garage organization solution. Floors, cabinetry, slapboard walls, and other accessories, all custom designed to maximize your space and be easy on your budget. Let Minnesota Cabinets, your trusted solution for kitchen cabinets, bring some peace of mind to your garage too. Wait till your neighbors see this. Minnesota Cabinets, home and garage on 100th Street in Urbandale.
That's magic. This is not. No magic can help you get in shape, and it won't happen overnight. You need a plan, commitment, and more often than not, you will need help. That's what the Y does best. They have the finest facilities and equipment and a professional staff trained to help you succeed. If you and your family are serious about living an active, healthier lifestyle, why wait? Join the Y today and let tomorrow be the start of a healthier you.
Welcome back to Extra Points. We're here at Wakanda Golf Club for the Principal Charity Classic, and Mark, we have been all over this golf course today. We lost Casey somewhere between hole 7 and hole 9.
Well, if he wouldn't talk to us, everyone was putting so loudly. They booted him, and now we got to go get him out of jail or whatever.
Yeah, first Shelton grabs lunch when he's not supposed to. He tried to steal a golf cart. He got asked to leave the course, so we'll finish it. It's a great event for our community. Speaking of the Principal Charity Classic, where else do you get the chance to interact with the Fuzzy Zellers of the world and at the same time see it benefit kids?
That's true. That's quite true. Fuzzy is a character. He's an original. You don't see many like him, and
they broke the mold.
They did. He's funny. He talks a lot. He's a great interview, and he hits the ball pretty well too.
Yeah, we saw Fuzzy obviously tee off right after our time with him, and he comes out cold, no time at the driving range, no time on the putting green, and just strokes it right down the middle. Kind of reminded me of a young Mark Hansen.
Yeah, right. Well, he's, you can tell that the old Pro-Am didn't mean that much to him, scoring well. I don't think that. He was out there to have fun and to talk to the people, and it was, anyone who followed him probably had a good time.
No question. When you look at, I think we in Central Iowa have gotten to the point, Mark, where we take events like this for granted. If you go back 10 years, go back 20 years, and obviously you've covered everything that's come and gone. Well, you've covered stuff for probably 50 years. But,
all right. We get the idea.
You know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And, it used to be the old Des Moines, there's nothing to do here, nothing going on. When you look at what's happened already this spring, and you look at the track and field world, you've got the USA Track and Field Outdoor Championships in a World Championship year coming. You've got the Principal Charity Classic. You've got obviously the Drake Relays that took it to a whole new level this year. You've got the NCAA Wrestling Championships. This is Des Moines, Iowa, and yet we're being treated to some world-class stuff.
Well, that's exactly what they used to call Des Moines. The ball players, the Iowa Oaks, and then later the Iowa Cubs, a long time ago, did actually call it Des Moines.
They used to roll up the sidewalks, I think, at 6 o'clock.
Right, but it's changed. And I remember when I first started covering sports at the Register, the big attraction was the John Ruan Classic, and they brought in a couple people, and it was a huge big deal because that was all we ever had here.
Yep.
Now there are all kinds of events. There's track, there minor league basketball. There's all kinds of stuff, and so it's got something for everyone now.
Yep, there's something to do each and every day. When you look at what's happening this time of year, obviously golf is on the radar. Track and field is on the radar, as we mentioned, with USA Track and Field coming in. And then you got baseball happening. And I'm not a huge baseball fan, but when you look at what's happening with the Iowa Cubs and the other things, you got to love the opportunities that you have to go down, catch a Cubs game, to take the kids out and experience that. So, really in the state of Iowa, there's been a renaissance in the sporting world here in recent years.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it has to do with the improvement downtown several years ago, maybe 10 years ago,
yep.
when they put the arena in, and it had the skywalk system, so it's turning into a kind of a destination place.
There are still those of us that would have liked to have had a couple thousand more seats in the arena, but it is a beautiful arena. It seems to be working thus far. Come back for more Extra Points next week when we take a different look at the world of sports.